Hello my friends, and as always, thank you very much for watching my video. Well, for those of you who saw my video on the Bedouin cartridge belt, I mentioned that I wanted to make one for myself because it has to be bigger since I'm bigger, and it sat for 6 months, halfway done, but I did it. I have a World War I party, and in the picture of my profile of this video, I don't have this on the belt. So I kind of ran out of time. This took forever. This is all hand stitched in here with glue, of course, with a little help of glue. But it took forever, but now I did it. And one of the things about these cartridge belts is that they look very much like another cartridge or ammunition thing that you would see in the Middle East, at least in some pictures, but definitely in the movie Lawrence of Arabia, when the character of Omar Sharif playing Sharif Ali, I think his name, the guy who wears all black, and they met at the Bedouin well. He's wearing a cartridge belt like this one, and he's also wearing a bandolier that looks very much like the cartridge belt. But that bandolier is actually a model 1908 or not model 1909 Turkish bandolier, and they differ in that they don't have this, and also they don't have this. The Bedouins would have a 2 or 3 buckles. Sometimes you would see 2 or 3 rings like this one. And the Turkish one also would have more of a bit of a roundish flap. And I've seen the Bedouins in where they did have also the roundish ones. Sometimes less decoration. Sometimes you would have lots of decorations like this. And that's one of the things with the Bedouin, as a big difference too, is that they tended to have quite a bit of decoration, while the Turkish ones were a little bit more plain, and they didn't have all this stuff. They just had the spring snaps, which is what these are here. These are 12 millimeter, not 16 millimeter. But as you can see, these are spring snaps, and these are prong rivets. And one of the cool things is that look how nice it looks. Looks very Muslim, doesn't it? Or Islamic, anyway. I have 6 pouches on mine, while they have 5, because, like I said, I'm just too fat for that. And all this here and I'm using 8 millimeter Mauser. Now, in the movie Lawrence of Arabia, you see a lot of guys with British Enfields, number 1, the World War I era ones, and in my opinion, that was really more due to the fact that for the movie they were able to supply those rifles, rather than what they would really have would be Turkish Mausers. And this, of course, is carrying the Turkish Mauser ammunition, which is the pre 8 millimeter Mauser. But in the movie, as I mentioned, you see them carrying Enfields. So I don't think that was correct. I think it was just because that was what they had in surplus for movie use. However, if I am wrong, you can always use the same cartridge belt, because here's my 303 British stripper clip with 303 ammo. So it does work on that one. Now, in pictures, I have seen the Bedouins with cavalry and artillery Gras and Martini Henrys, but I honestly, I just can't say that I've seen any carrying any World War I Enfields. So in any case, if you're interested in making one of these, some of the things that you'd want to know, for example, 6 stripper clips. This whole one piece was 35 inches. This whole one piece was 25 inches. That should kind of help a little bit in how to make it, or at least the lengths of things that you should cut. Now, remember that these were not made in Europe and then shipped to the Middle East. These were made in a bazaar, large city, small town, in the desert, whenever. These were all pretty much handmade. Now, this one here has stitching on it. Okay, so there was a sewing machine involved. That's why I went ahead and did mine. However, in my personal opinion, if you do not have a sewing machine for this thing, you don't need to worry about it. Okay, you can always use glue, though they just stitched it together. I glued mine and stitched it together. All right, so you can just use glue if you like, because they did have glue back in those days. It's probably more easy to get glue than it was to get a sewing machine to do all this kind of stuff. So if you ever want to do one of these things, you can go that route. If you want to do a Bedouin impression, you can do that route. In my profile picture for this video, I have this cartridge bell, but I don't have the loops because I didn't have time to do that. The loops took forever. My God, these were like the worst, just the worst time-consuming thing. Awful, just really awful. And I used a waxed thread, not a very thick thread either, very thin, but it was all hand stitched. And part of the fun of this doing a Bedouin is that the designs can be a bit different. They can be very plain or very ornate. And the Turkish bandolier was a little bit more simple. Didn't have all the flowery, all the different eyelets and all these different things. So if you look that up on the internet, like I said, model 1908 or model 1909 Turkish bandolier, and you'll see what I mean. It doesn't have all the exact same things on it. So another thing too is that since this was made by hand, not some machine, it doesn't have to be millimeter perfect. Okay, in fact, if it's 2 millimeter perfect, it looks fake. Imperfections on these types of things gives it more authenticity. And look at the circle on this one here. Look how off it is. Look at all the spacing in between there, and look how close they are here. This one here also same thing. It's a little bit wonky. This one here is a little bit nicer, and then this one here is they're practically on top of each other. Okay, so super perfect makes it imperfect. This one here, it's all one piece until you get to this part. This last loop was added on by someone. Obviously it has to have been the maker because he's got the same die on it. But see, if you run out here, I was so careful to have one long piece, and then that I don't run out. Well, that's stupid, because if you run out, you just keep adding to it. But I was so desperately stupid to it has to be one long piece. No, it doesn't. Okay, so imperfection makes it more authentic. Okay, so I'm gonna pause this video and I'm gonna put this thing on, and I'm not wearing my impression, but you can at least see what it looks like on me. So stand by. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna show you what it looks like. Actually, let's go against this wall here. Be a little bit easier to show you how it looks like. And yes, they did wear these crossed in the front like this. I don't know why. It was the style. And again, if you see the movie Lawrence of Arabia, you'll see that. And you have to measure from your belly button, okay? Not from under your big gut. You have to measure from your belly button. And it is a little difficult to get ammunition from the bag. Doesn't help when you're fat, but it's doable. In any case, this is what it looks like, and like I said, I made this a little bit too long. This part here should be more up here, and I should have more decoration up here. This part, as I said, it should be more like up here, but for my next one, hopefully it'll come out a lot nicer. And in any case, if you're interested in making one, I'd be happy to make a video on showing you how to, go around it, or look up some videos, some pictures on the internet about the different decorations that you see. Again, Lawrence of Arabia, you'll see a bunch of different things here, different decorations here, and hopefully you guys like this video, and we'll see you on the next time. Thanks.